All right, y'all. So we're still moving on with the series of chord progressions and how to make advanced chord progressions. Once again, this is a series from beginning to end, from basic to advanced, right? And I'm gonna show you guys today how to use a diminished chord, right? So we already know how to make one. So let me show you guys how to use it, right? So we're still in C minor. We're gonna stay in C minor the whole time, right? So we got our C minor, right? But like, let's just say if we wanted to get from C, the 1, to the 5, right? But we don't want to use a regular chord, well, we'll pop in a diminished chord, right? So a diminished chord, I like to use it as a mode of transit, right? To move from one chord to the next. And let me show you guys what I'm talking about, right? So boom, let's just say this is the 1, this is the 5, and I wanted to get from 1 to 5, but make it kind of like in my own type of style. What I would do is I would pop in a diminished chord, right? So boom, how do we make a diminished chord? We take the 5th of a minor triad and just lower it, right? Cool, we did that. Then I would just bring it up, right? So now that we got our diminished chord in there, let me show you how it works. You can either go one below it or one above it. Let me show you what those sound like. So I would go from the C to a B diminished to the 5, or I can go from the C to an A diminished, and that's how we use a diminished chord to make those sound, to make our chord progression sound a little bit more jazzy, or to give them more rhythm, right? And I just turned this into a diminished 7th by adding another interval of it. Let me show you what it sounds like here. And we just added a 7th. You see what I'm saying? So we're going from the 1 to the 5, but we're adding a diminished chord in here to give us a little bit more variance, right? And even if I wanted to leave it on the C and just go from 1 to C diminished to the 5, it'll still sound good. You get what I'm saying? So a diminished chord can be used 3 ways, right? It can be used one note below it, it can be used one note above it, and then it can be used on the same note. Hell, you could probably even use it on the 5th note as well. So let's hear how that sounds. I wouldn't use it there, but however, if you find a way to use some sauce up in there, go ahead. But that's how you use a diminished chord. Once again, I like to use a diminished chord as a mode of transit to get from one chord to the next, to spice it up in between. So once again, let's hear what that sounds like. Right? So that's how we use a diminished chord. Y'all boys holla at me, stay tuned, you heard me?